Today, we wanted to show you how to make a great Cantonese dish, Chenpi Gu, or tangerine peel pork ribs. While they might not look like much, they pack a lot of flavor with a strong citrusy punch. Now, this is a dish we've been wanting to do for a while. See, there used to be a restaurant in Guangzhou called Lihua. Last year, it sadly did what old restaurants tend to do, and after 3 decades of operation, ended up shutting its doors. We got a lot of memories there. When Steph first started working, her company ate there so much they called it their canteen. I celebrated my 30th birthday there, and it was one of the first restaurants me and Steph ate at when we first started dating. They served up classic Cantonese fare, the food was awesome, but the very best thing on their menu was these tangerine peel pork ribs. Now, these ribs are not those ribs, but after over a year of testing, we do think that they're quite close, and at the very least, a great rendition of the dish. So right, to get started with tangerine peel pork ribs, you'll need tangerine peel. Here we're actually using 2 types of tangerine peel. Some dried and aged tangerine peel to marinate the pork with, and some candied tangerine peel for finishing, which is something we know Lihua did. To prep the dried and aged tangerine peel, first reconstitute 5 grams worth in hot boiled water. The hot water helps remove some of the bitterness, so just let that soak for 20 minutes. After that time, you'll have to remove the bitter pith from the peel, so just go at it and scrape it off. It is a little annoying, but you don't want this gunk to flavor your dish, so once it's removed, your aged tangerine peel's good to go. For the candied tangerine peel, just grab a small handful and toss them in a coffee or spice grinder. Grind that until it's a coarse powder, and if you're worried about sourcing, know that you should be able to find both types online or at a good Chinese supermarket. Set that aside, and we'll come back to it at the very end of the recipe. Now, for the ribs, we're using 300 grams of spare ribs, the same cut as St. Louis-style spare ribs if you're America-based. What this cut is the rib of the pork with the breastbone and skirt meat sliced off, then cleaved across the bone into 2-centimeter pieces. To prep them, we'll be using the same technique as dim sum spare ribs, which first soaks them in alkaline water. So add a teaspoon of alkaline water together with enough water to submerge the ribs, and if sourcing alkaline water is tough for you, feel free to use the baked baking soda method that we discussed in the dim sum ribs video. Either way, leave that to soak for 30 minutes. After that time, you should see that your alkaline water's extracted a lot of the myoglobin from the pork. Pour it out and rinse under running water while stirring for about 5 minutes until the water runs clear. Now transfer that over to a salad spinner and spin that dry. This whole technique makes for more tender ribs that'll tear easily off the bone. At this point, the meat should look obviously pale, and with that, the ribs are prepped. Now, for the marinade, this could probably be conceptualized as something closer to a brine. To 3 cups of water, first toss in 15 grams of licorice root, 1 star anise, about 8 whole cloves, 1 bay leaf, and the aged tangerine peels we prepped earlier. Bring that all to a boil, then down to a simmer, and let that simmer away uncovered for 20 minutes or until reduced by about 1/3. Then shut off the heat and add in 5 tablespoons of sugar, 1 tablespoon salt, an optional sprinkle of MSG, 1 teaspoon of Chinese rice wine, and sake or shaoxing would be fine if you can't find this sort. Then let that all come down to room temperature, toss in your ribs, and let that marinate for at least 3 hours. Now, after that time, transfer the ribs over to a bowl. You don't need to be paranoid and dry them or anything, because we do want a touch of liquid in there to help season our coating. Then add in 3 tablespoons of flour, coat that well, and we are ready to deep fry. So in a wok, get about 3 cups of oil up to 180 centigrade and toss in the ribs. This will lower the temperature, which is fine because we're aiming to fry this at 145. Let those fry for about 4 minutes. As an aside, if you're looking to scale this recipe up, totally feel free to do so. Just do this deep frying step in batches. Then once those are lightly golden brown, take them out. Now get the oil up to a blistering 195 Celsius and toss those in again for 20 seconds to crisp them right up, then remove and transfer over to a paper towel lined bowl. Pat out any excess oil, then sprinkle in a half tablespoon of your candied tangerine peel powder together with an 1/8 teaspoon salt. Give it a toss, and feel free to adjust the seasoning to taste. Then move it over to a serving plate, optionally garnish with a totally inauthentic twist of orange, and with that, your ribs are done. So while Lihua sadly already fried their very last rib, we do really hope you can give this one a try.
So when the restaurant closed down, I was really sad. But now I'm just really happy that we're able to recreate this dish. So texturally, they're a little bit different from Lihua's version. We went with the dim sum rib method and used jian shui to prep the ribs. We don't think they do that, But honestly, this method just gives it like great fragrance in the meat and great texture that just comes up right off the bone. So check out the other link in the description box for detailed recipe. A big thank you for everyone that's supporting us on Patreon. And of course, subscribe for more Chinese cooking videos.